Most leaders can spot a toxic culture when they walk into one, but very few realize when they're actually accidentally contributing to it. Not intentionally, not maliciously, not because they actually don't care, but because leadership is stressful and people can be so unpredictable. And sometimes, in our efforts to keep the peace, keeping things moving, or keeping everyone happy, we unintentionally strengthen the very culture we're trying to change. Today, we're talking about 5 subtle ways Christian leaders, even the kindest, most well intentioned ones, accidentally contribute to toxic culture without realizing it. This episode isn't to shame you. I want to make that very, very, very clear. But it is there to help you lead with clarity, confidence, and Christ-like wisdom. Let's jump in. Do you wish that you could lead your team in a way that honors and glorifies God? Are you struggling to overcome self-doubt as a leader and have a desire to be more confident in your role? Welcome to the Woman of Faith in Leadership podcast. I'm Rika, and for the last decade, I've experienced my fair share of managing challenging employees and teams in middle management leadership roles. I committed my leadership journey to God, and it changed everything. And I'm ready to share everything I've learned with you. Now, if you're ready to lead your team in a way that honors God, grab that notebook and pen, and don't forget your chai latte, and let's dive in. If this topic already makes you second guess yourself or worry that you're not leading well enough, the Imposter Syndrome Blueprint will help you lead with clarity instead of insecurity, especially when managing a culture, conflict, or even difficult people. Simply go to womanoffaithinleadership.com/blueprint to learn more. Here's what every Christian leader needs to understand. Toxic culture isn't always created through toxic people. Sometimes it's created through silent patterns. Stuff like repeated avoidance, unclear expectations, inconsistency, emotional exhaustion, people-pleasing, and the fear of disappointing or upsetting others. Christian women often fall into these traps because we genuinely want to be kind, we want to be peacemakers, we want to be supportive, we want to be accommodating, we want to be patient, and we want to be understanding. But here's the truth. Kindness without clarity creates confusion. Compassion without boundaries creates chaos. And grace without accountability creates dysfunction. And those patterns shape culture, often more than we realize. So let's break down 5 ways leaders unintentionally contribute to toxicity and what to do instead. Number 1, avoiding conflict for the sake of peace, okay, in quotation marks. Oh gosh, I have done this so many times where you avoid the conflict because you just don't like conflict. And just the other day, I said to somebody else, because they said, oh, this leader really hates conflict. And I said, well, the truth in avoiding conflict actually is the fact that you're empowering that person. You're giving them the go-ahead to keep on doing what they're doing because you're willing to just avoid the conflict. And this is really the most common one, and that's why I've put it at the top at number 1. And it can be things like disrespectfulness going unchecked, gossip that's not addressed, poor performance is tolerated, or someone behaves inappropriately and we don't do anything about it. We don't say anything because we don't want confrontation. And actually, what we do is we accidentally teach our team that this is acceptable. Avoidance always empowers the wrong behaviors. So what's the spirit-led fix here? Address issues early, privately, and clearly, not emotionally. Number 2, being inconsistent to avoid upsetting someone. When expectations shift depending on the person or the day, when people feel unsafe, confused, anxious, and unsure about what's okay, that means that there's inconsistency. And inconsistency breeds insecurity. And what you consistently reinforce, this inconsistency, so you're consistently reinforcing inconsistency, and then that becomes culture. And what you inconsistently tolerate becomes chaos. So what's the spirit-led fix here? Set expectations. Then communicate them. and enforce them kindly but firmly. You need to keep your people accountable. It's extremely, extremely important. Number 3, overcaring to the point of over-functioning. Christian women are natural nurturers. But when we take on other people's workload, their emotional baggage, their responsibilities, and even their stress, we accidentally train people to depend on us instead of grow themselves. Overfunctioning burns you out and also weakens them. So, what's the spirit-led fix here? Support without rescuing. So, yes, sometimes we do need to jump in and we do need to help. But there's a difference between helping someone and rescuing them. And you need to figure out what is their responsibility, what can you do to support them, but not rescue them. Help them without absorbing their stress, without absorbing their issues, without absorbing their emotionalness, and also without absorbing actually all their work too. Coach them without carrying them. It's not about carrying that person to the end, to the finish line. Yes, sometimes that is needed, all right? But I need for you to coach them on how to do the right thing, how to get through their work on a day-to-day basis, how to time manage, how to sort out what's most important to least important. I need you to coach them. I don't need for you to carry them. Number 4, softening communication to be nice. Okay, this sounds like I don't want to be a bother, but if you don't have the time, that's fine. Or if you have the time, could we maybe? Sorry, but just checking in. And your intention by doing all of this is actually kindness, but the result is unclear direction. Unclear communication creates frustration, misalignment, reoccurring mistakes, and resentment. So, what's the spirit-led fix? Be clear, calm, and kind. Directness is a form of respect. All right, so I need for you to start being direct. Don't talk in all sorts of loopholes. Don't go and say 50 sentences before you get to the point. Get to the point immediately. And how do you get to the point immediately? You prepare what you're going to say. It's very, very important that you go and prepare what you need to say. Number 5, fifth and final one, focusing on harmony instead of health. Many Christian leaders value unity. There's nothing wrong with that. However, there's a difference between unity and surface level harmony. Harmony avoids the hard stuff, whereas unity works through it. Think about someone you've ever had a conflict with. If you and that person were able to work through your conflict, you actually ended up having a better relationship afterwards because of that. That's why unity works through it. When we prioritize keeping everyone happy, we actually sacrifice accountability, we sacrifice honest conversations, we sacrifice performance, boundaries, and even the culture that we've worked so hard in building. So what's the spirit-led fix here? Choose health over harmony. Choose truth over tolerance. And choose growth over comfort. If this episode made you realize, wow, I can see myself in some of these patterns and I am stuck, you're not alone. And you don't need to feel guilty either. You simply need support to lead with clarity, confidence, and emotional strength. And that's exactly why I created the Imposter Syndrome Blueprint. It'll help you stop people pleasing in leadership, set firm but fair boundaries, communicate clearly, break the fear of upsetting people, and lead with a calm, grounded, Christ-like authority. Simply go to womenoffaithinleadership.com/blueprint and start leading culture instead of absorbing it. Now, in closing, you're not contributing to toxicity because you're a bad leader. You're contributing because you care very, very deeply. But caring without clarity leads to dysfunction. Caring with wisdom leads to transformation. And you are learning, growing, and becoming the kind of leader who shifts culture, not silently reinforcing it. You're leading with culture, you're leading with conviction, and you're leading with Christ at the center of it all. You are becoming the leader your workplace really, really needs. Can't wait to chat with you again soon and to see your growth in 2026 when it comes to courage and leaning in to Christ and to God and leading with God at the center of it all. I'll chat to you again next week. Bye. Hey, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If so, would you take 30 seconds and leave me a 5-star written review on Apple Podcasts? It would mean so much to me to read your feedback. Also, it would really bless me big if you shared this episode with a fellow leader who might benefit from hearing today's message. And remember, put on the armor of God daily and walk by faith and not by sight. I'll meet you back on Monday for another episode.